We start with breaking news. Another glaring example of political bias at your Department of Justice.
The reputation of the FBI it's tarnished?
I think that there is deep concern that the FBI may have been used in a political way.
Peter Strzok, who hated the president, possibly was the person who packaged all of this together, brought it to the FISA court, and launched this entire false Russia collusion theory in the first place. It's absolutely ludicrous. Strzok is at the center of all this, and if Strzok is the person who prepared this application, everything else is fruit of the poisonous tree.
I was just going to say that.
What are you doing to ensure that the top ranks of the Federal Bureau of Investigation are cleared of individuals who are tainted by bias?
They're focused on Comey and McCabe and Comey and now Wray. So it's the higher-ups that's reputations are under assault, not the line agent.
Is the integrity of the agency in question then now?
Of course it is.
They've got to at least appear to be fair and unbiased. So who does Mueller pick? He picked 16 attorneys. 9 of the 16 are in him.
January 28th, 2019. 3 important events happened. A. State of the Union speech announced to be scheduled on February 5th. B. Acting Attorney General Whitaker said Mueller investigation almost completed.
I've been fully briefed on the investigation, and I look forward to Director Mueller delivering the final report. And I really am not going to talk about open and ongoing investigation otherwise, but sort of the statements that I made were as a private citizen, only with publicly available information. And I am comfortable that the decisions that were made are going to be reviewed, either through the various means we have. But right now, the investigation is, I think, close to being completed, and I hope that we can get the report from Director Mueller as soon as possible.
And then this. FBI Anon here, Jim Comey and John Brennan have been indicted by a grand jury. The indictments will be made public 2 weeks from Friday. 2 weeks from Friday, January 25th, means on February 8th. Now I want to take a minute here to thank Zoda Stone at Stone Zoda for bringing this precious nugget to my attention. This FBI Anon fits with the other info we have, so I consider it plausible. So get over to @StoneZoda and maybe follow along. But remember, no trolls allowed. There is no question in my mind that the Mueller team has been working undercover for Trump since May 16 of 2017. Witch hunt. Witch hunt equals hunting the witch. Who is the witch? I've been writing on this since April 29th of 2018, so do not ask for sources. Do not be lazy. Use Twitter Advanced Search, and you will find many threads I devoted to this topic.
And I'll tell you what.
In a debate on October 9th of 2016, Trump said, "I will appoint a special prosecutor to investigate Hillary Clinton."
Because there has never been so many lies, so much deception. There has never been anything like it. And we're going to have a special prosecutor. When I speak, I go out and speak. The people of this country are furious. In my opinion, the people that have been long-term workers at the FBI are furious. There has never been anything like this where emails and you get a subpoena, and after getting the subpoena, you delete 33,000 emails. And then you acid wash them or bleach them, as you would say, a very expensive process. So we're going to get a special prosecutor and we're going to look into it because you know what? People have been Their lives have been destroyed for doing 1/5 of what you've done. And it's a disgrace. And honestly, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Now, is this special prosecutor Mueller? The answer is yes. I'm saying if you do not believe it, then it means you do not believe Trump. If you do not believe Trump, you are not a patriot. If you're not a patriot, I don't want you here in this video on my timeline. And there is no question in my mind that Rod Rosenstein has been working for Trump the whole time since Trump nominated Rosenstein on February 1st of 2017. Again, if you do not believe it, it means you think Trump is an idiot. If you consider Trump an idiot, I don't want you here. Okay, back on topic. Think military strategy. Think war, because this is war. The war against the deep state. Rosenstein and the Mueller team have been working for 2 years now to get all the required evidence to nail down. People like HRC, Hussein, Brennan, Comey, Loretta Lynch, Sally Yates, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Susan Rice, and many others. Now these charges will be treason, seditious conspiracy against a duly elected U.S. president, violations of the Espionage Act, and many, many more charges. The punishment for the above crimes is the death penalty. Now we know from several sources that Bruce Orr, Lisa Page, Bill Priestrat, they are cooperating witnesses since around June of 2017. Others have been cooperating too. Military tribunals are in full swing since January 2nd of 2019. On September 5th of 2018, Senator Graham and Brett Kavanaugh laid the groundwork for the military tribunals and the executions. American citizens who collaborate with the enemy are enemy combatants. Let's listen closely.
We were watching as the standing with her when the buildings fell.
So when somebody says post 9/11 that we've been at war and it's called the war on terrorism, do you generally agree with that concept?
I do, Senator, because Congress passed the authorization for use of military force, which is still in effect, and that was passed, of course, on September 14th, 2001, 3 days later.
Let's talk about the law in war. Is there a body of law called the law of armed conflict?
There is such a body, Senator.
Is there a body of law that's called basic criminal law?
Yes, Senator.
Are there differences between those two bodies of law?
Yes, Senator.
From an American citizen's point of view, do your constitutional rights follow you? If you're in Paris, does the Fourth Amendment protect you as an American from your own government?
From your own government, yes.
Okay. So, if you're in Afghanistan, do your constitutional rights protect you against your own government?
If you're an American in Afghanistan, you have constitutional rights as against the U.S. government.
Is there a long-standing...
That's long-settled law.
Isn't there also a long-settled law that it goes back to the Eisentrager case? I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, Johnson versus Eisentrager.
Right. That American citizens who collaborate with the enemy have considered enemy combatants.
They can be. They can be. They're sometimes criminally prosecuted, sometimes treated in the military.
Well, let's talk about can be. I think
under Supreme Court precedent.
Right. There's a Supreme Court decision that said that American citizens who collaborated with Nazi saboteurs were tried by the military. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I think a couple of them were executed.
Yeah.
So if anybody doubts, there's a long-standing history in this country that your constitutional rights follow you wherever you go, but you don't have a constitutional right to turn on your own government, collaborate with the enemy of the nation. You'll be treated differently. What's the name of the case, if you can recall, that reaffirmed the concept that you could hold one of our own as an enemy combatant if they were engaged in terrorist activities in Afghanistan? Are you familiar with that case?
Yeah, Hamdi.
Okay. So the bottom line is, I want every American citizen to know you have constitutional rights, but you do not have a constitutional right to collaborate with the enemy. There's a body of law well developed long before 9/11 that understood the difference between basic criminal law and the law of armed conflict. Do you understand those differences?
I do understand that there are different bodies of law, of course, Senator.
Okay, if you're confirmed, and I believe you will be, what is your hope when all of this is said and done and your time is up? How would you like to be remembered?
A good dad, good judge,
good husband.
I think he's getting there.
good husband.
Thanks, Diane.
Folks, we now have 4 dates pinpointed. February 5th, the State of the Union. February 7th, William Barr Senate confirmation vote as Attorney General. February 8th, FBI Anon leak on Brennan and Comey. Indictments become public. February 15th, the government shutdown, Part 2. Now on the Mueller report, we don't have a date yet, but logically, it should happen on February 8th if the FBI Anon info is correct. And this is when all hell will break loose. Now, from Dr. Dave Janda sources and from my personal sources, we know that the first military trial to be made public will be the John Brennan trial. The Brennan trial will be broadcast live. Think like the Kavanaugh hearings. Even CNN will be broadcasting it. After the Brennan and Comey trials, it'll be James Clapper's turn. Clapper equals Obama's DNI director. James Clapper wanted to fire NSA Director Admiral Mike Rogers back on November 17, 2016. Does this have anything to do with Mike Rogers going to tell Trump he was being spied on? Maybe. Now, James Clapper's charges are treason, seditious conspiracy, and the Espionage Act. It all equals death penalty or a lifetime in jail. Either way, we win. Again, we want to give a big shout out to Greg Rubini. If you're not on the Twitters, get over there and follow along. It's great articles. This is just an example of the great work and research that he digs into. I'm Michael. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you worldwide. Where we go one, we go all.